Well, where am I today? Let's see. Huh, I'm at the Mini Time Machine Museum here in Tucson, Arizona. Hey, would you join me? Would you come with me on this adventure? Are you ready? Let's go!
Zooming through the galaxy, colors in the sky. Max Zeeks from Planet Digby zooms in with a hi.
Hello there.
He's blue and bold with ears of gold. He's here to play and learn. Adventures out there, just press play, and Max will seek out fun for all. Max Zeeks, come along, it's time to go.
Let's see. Well, I guess I better purchase my ticket and get started. Well, hello there.
Hello and welcome to the Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures. And I've been expecting you.
Oh, you have?
I have. In fact, you're on my special guest list. No charge for you today.
What? Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes. Yes, my name is Emily Wolverton. I am the curator here at the museum, and I'm so excited to have you, and I can't wait to show you around the museum.
Oh, well, thank you, Emily.
Yes.
Wow. You know what? I'm on several lists, but I've never been on this type of list. So
You are our
thank you
special
so
guest
much.
today. Thank you so much.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Emily. Okay. You know what? Tell me where we're at right now.
You are in our latest and greatest temporary exhibition of the works of Ray Harryhausen,
Oh.
a titan of cinema. So we are a miniature museum. And so naturally we have small scale objects, we have dollhouse miniatures, we have miniature objects from different cultures, different time periods, but we love to show how miniatures are used in different industries. And so this is a great example of how miniatures are used in the film industry, in particular in special effects and stop motion animation.
Oh, yes. You know what? I mean, I told you I was way far from home.
Yes.
But some of these have been beamed to my home
I'm
planet.
so excited. You've seen some of these beamed to your
Well,
planet?
I mean, yeah. Again, I don't want to talk too much about myself. But
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
All right,
Absolutely.
hey, would you show me around today?
I would love to show you around.
Okay.
Please follow me this
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now what you're looking at right now is not one of Ray Harryhausen's pieces, but it's a piece by his hero, Willis O'Brien. So when Ray Harryhausen was 13 years old, it was actually just right before his 13th birthday, he saw an amazing movie called King Kong. It was 1933, and that film had stop motion animation by the legendary Willis O'Brien. And it changed Ray's life. He was so impressed, blown away by what he saw, that he decided then and there he was going to dedicate his life to learning how to do stop motion animation. And so the foundation, the Ray and Diana Harryhausen Foundation, they always like to keep a little piece of Willis O'Brien in every exhibit of Ray's work to show how he inspired Ray. And this is a beautiful painting that Willis O'Brien did for the movie Mighty Joe Young. And guess what? Ray got to work with his hero, Willis O'Brien, in Mighty Joe Young. And so this piece really solidifies that idea of being inspired by someone and working with them. And so right over here, you can see quotes from Guillermo del Toro and Steven Spielberg talking about how Ray inspired them as movie filmmakers. So we've got Willis O'Brien, who inspired Ray, and then we have Ray here and how he inspired a generation of filmmakers with his own work. There's a really neat picture here of Ray Harryhausen getting his Lifetime Achievement Academy Award from the actor Tom Hanks. So it's just a really nice piece here. And then you, standing here looking at this, you are the next line of that, being inspired by them. So the next generation can be inspired by these great filmmakers and what they've done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. This is really something else. Wow.
Okay, this is really neat. So as I was saying, he was inspired when he saw King Kong, and he was only 13 years old. He immediately went home and started learning how to make his own animated models. He started with these marionettes. So these are puppets. There's a skeleton marionette, and then over here, that is his tribute marionette to King Kong. Ray was only about 14 years old when he made these, and we love showing them here for the kids in particular, because it shows that you have to start somewhere. You can see that he got better and better and better. And the skeletons in particular are pretty neat because Ray Harryhausen was known for his skeletons. He has a very famous skeleton army that people remember him by. So it's really fun to see this early skeleton model that he made when he was only 14 years old.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Very inspiring right here. And look at that thing back there. Wow, I think that's the Hydra. But you know what? I think we'll ask Miss Emily all about that one.
Imagine Ray animating this thing with 7 heads, all going in different directions, all moving around, interacting with a live action actor who's pretending to be fighting it. It's a lot of work. Ray did a lot of work on this.
Wow.
And right in front of him are the skeletons.
Wow.
Those are the skeletons I was talking about earlier. So Ray was famous for this scene in particular from Jason and the Argonauts when he has a skeleton army fighting Jason and his men. And he had 7 skeletons that he was animating all at once. It took him 4 months to animate them for footage that's around 4 minutes long. But he's quite famous for it. It was a really memorable moment, and a lot of people are blown away getting to see the actual skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts.
I'm blown away right here. I mean, look how close I am to them. I just thought they would be a little bigger. But
yeah, I
seeing them on
know.
the silver screen is different than seeing them in person. That's the magic of movies.
And it's the magic of miniatures too, because Ray used these small skeletons and they looked as big as full-grown men in the movie. The Hydra is huge in the movie. It's a giant monster, but you can see it's actually a miniature. And so Ray used forced perspective when he was making his movies, and that forced perspective made these miniatures look colossal in size.
Whoa, wow.
All right, so Dynamation, it's a little bit tricky. It's complicated to talk about, but Ray knew that. And so Ray himself drew this picture to help explain how Dynamation works and how he made a sandwich to put his creature between live action footage and the new film that he was making. So he starts with the live action footage. They film the whole movie without any of Ray's creatures. And then Ray projects it 1 frame at a time on a rear projection screen. 1 little click of a frame at a time. He puts his creature in front of it at the right height and at the right size. Sometimes he makes them very small, sometimes he makes them bigger, and forced perspective is how he makes it look really big. So he puts that there, and then he puts another little screen here with blacked out areas to hide the table and hide what he doesn't want to record. And so he does 1 little frame of live action footage, he poses his creature a tiny little bit, and then he takes a picture with the new camera, and he does that hundreds and hundreds of times, advances it, moves him, takes a picture. And then when he's done, he does the reverse. He takes them all out, rewinds to the beginning, and then he puts up a reverse matte picture here. So I don't know if you know how film works. It's pretty tricky, but it's a matter of light on what's recorded. So when he blocks out where the creature was, it records, it sort of double exposes. It double exposes on the film.
That's the word.
And he, then when he's all done and he plays it back, suddenly there's a creature in a brand new film. It's sandwiched in between old footage and new footage. And so that was his secret to Dynamation, and it worked beautifully.
Oh, yes, it did. Wow. And like you said before, one of those sequences took like 4.5
Yes,
months.
so
Wow.
to do a really good stop motion, you want to have very smooth and fluid movements. And to do that, you move just a little bit at a time so you don't look kind of jerky and moving like a robot. So he moved just the tiniest bits over and over. So that way it looked really good, but it also took a really long time. He would sometimes walk miles in a day, back and forth and back and forth and back and
I can
forth
imagine.
between the camera
Wow.
and the table. Yep.
Wow.
So imagine that's just with 1 creature. Imagine if it's an army of skeletons or a Hydra with 7 heads. That's a lot of heads moving, a lot of mouths moving for him to do, to take 1 picture and then do it all again.
Wow.
Yep, really impressive.
Yeah, and he hoped the phone didn't ring, right?
He took the phone off the hook. He took the phone off the hook. And he sometimes would sleep in there. He'd work all day and into the night, and he'd sleep in the room. We have two different films represented here. We have Mysterious Island, and that's what this cool nautiloid, nautilus type creature is behind you.
Oh.
And then we have the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. So Mysterious Island was Ray's 9th movie, and Beast from 20,000 Fathoms was his 2nd movie. His first movie that he worked on was Mighty Joe Young with his hero, Willis O'Brien. So this was really Ray's first time doing it on his own with the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. Now, you'll see here that there's this beautiful bronze here of the Beast, and then beside you, there's this prototype. So Ray, when he was making his creatures, he would save money by reusing his armatures. The armatures are the cool metal skeletons inside his animated models, and sometimes he would just reuse them, and he did that for the Beast. In the 80s, Ray started paying tribute to all of his lost models from his films. So he actually sculpted this himself and then had it cast in bronze. But you can see what an incredible artist Ray Harryhausen was with the beautiful detail.
He sure was.
Absolutely. But that is the original lighthouse from Beast from 20,000 Fathoms.
Wow.
And this is from Mysterious Island, and that is the original model from Mysterious Island, this sort of tentacled octopus-like nautiloid that's underwater that attacks the crew when they're underwater. And then Alan Friswell, who's an incredible artist himself, he actually created that shell. He reproduced it under the guidance of Ray Harryhausen to reproduce that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of limbs flying around right over here.
Lots of.
Wow, look at this. Miss Emily, what am I looking at here?
You are looking at a storyboard. So storyboards kind of look like a comic book, like a comic strip, and they do the same thing. They tell a story using pictures. And so you're looking at the Walrus sequence from one of Ray's films called Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger.
Oh.
And I'll show you the walrus. We have the walrus on display here. But this is really nice for a couple reasons. First, it shows what an incredible artist Ray was. He was an excellent illustrator. All of his images have great dynamic movement in it, showing what the actors are doing. And that's exactly what he would use these for on set, was because his creatures didn't exist. So when they were filming all that live action, all those actors were pretending that that walrus was there. So he would show these pictures so that the actors would know how to pretend to act like there's a giant walrus in front of them. Sometimes Ray himself would pretend to be his creature, and he'd stomp around and he'd hold up a stick with a ball with eyeballs painted on it to show where the head of a monster might be. But yeah, Ray was right there, and he would show these to the entire cast and crew to help them know what was inside his head and to make sure that the actors were doing what he needed them to do so that he could animate his creature appropriately later when he would insert them.
Exactly, because it's not every day, Miss Emily, that we run into giant walruses.
Exactly.
We have no idea how we would react,
Exactly.
right? I mean,
Exactly.
Wow.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So Ray had it all in his imagination, and he used these pictures to share his imagination with the actors in the film so that they could act appropriately.
Wow.
So you've got the aliens that are known as the Selenites in here. And this guy here, he's trapped, and the alien is holding up his jacket, inspecting his jacket. So this little storyboard sequence is really helpful, again, because the aliens didn't exist that they were acting against. And so he made sure that the actors knew what to expect when the final film was done.
Yeah, you know what? I'm here to say that I've seen those guys before.
You
so
know
they
these
do.
aliens?
Yeah, they
Are they
do
buddies
exist.
of yours?
Oh
my gosh.
not really, but yeah. I just wanted to confirm that they do actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's this one here?
So this is from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, which is one of Ray's most famous films. And you're looking here at a giant crossbow. And that giant crossbow is actually a miniature. And we have it here at our miniature museum. So Ray drew a really neat picture of what that giant crossbow would look like in the film. There's a dragon that Ray created, and it shows them using this giant crossbow to shoot the dragon. So you can see this really neat sequence scenes. And so the actors knew how to pretend what was happening in the scene.
Wow, that's awesome. Storyboards are pretty cool.
They're important and cool.
There's that walrus we were just talking about, Miss Emily.
There's the walrus.
Wow.
Yep, that's the one. And what's really neat about this walrus that I thought was really funny when I was learning about it is that latex rubber, it's got latex rubber as the skin. It's so thick that Ray said it was a really big challenge to animate. It was really hard to move it because all that rubber was really stiff. Wow. But yep, that's the original walrus. And you can see it's giant in the movie, but look, it's actually a miniature.
Oh, yeah, he's almost about as big as me.
Yeah, he's like the size of a pup.
Yeah. He does need a little shave, though.
He does need a little shave on those whiskers, but he looks pretty good otherwise.
Oh, he does.
Yep. And we were also talking about the crossbow from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. So you can see that's a miniature. It's actually a pretty small crossbow, but it looks enormous when you see it in the movie. And so one of the tricks that Ray did was he created a wheel that looks just like the wheel there, but it was about 8 feet tall. So the actors would stand next to this huge wheel, and then when he put it into the film, it looked like they were standing next to a huge crossbow.
Wow. Now, Miss Emily, I know you're a lady. But, yeah, I just passed a lady here. Or is that a lady? Or what is that 8-armed legged thing? What is
Yes! That's,
holy cow.
That's Kali. Yep. And so she's in one of the later Sinbad films. And she's really neat. So the figure for her is it can't be traveled. So Ray, just like he did with his Beast of 20,000 Fathoms, he made this tribute to Kali in bronze. So he recreated her in bronze and gave her that beautiful marble base. But what's really neat about that is during the filming sequence, because she's actually fighting with swords, and so the actors are pretending to fight her. So he actually had 3 different men at the waist by a giant belt, all of them moving around, tied up to each other and fighting with swords.
Wow.
So that the actors were actually fighting them. And then he had them practice that way. And then when they finally shot it, those 3 actors left and the men just kind of pretended to fight the air.
Miss Emily?
Yes.
Could you indulge me for a minute?
Yes.
I think that's Bubo, right?
That is Bubo. Yep. And there's actually 2 versions of Bubo. And they were both used in the movie. There were 4 versions of Bubo used entirely. So we've got 2 of the 4. The very, very smallest one, it was like about the size of your thumb. That one is not here. So this small one here is actually called the medium-sized Bubo. And then there's a larger Bubo for close-ups. But Bubo the owl had a 4th one that was remote controlled. And so the actors would hold a remote controlled one that was moving around during the sequence. But these guys were added later, and they fly through and they have really fun little, the eyes blink and they move around and ruffle their feathers. And Bubo is a really charming, sweet character in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. And I'm having a weird feeling that somebody else is looking behind me again. Let me look over here. Oh, no. I can't look, Miss Emily. I can't look because, oh no, I think I know who that is.
Yes, that's Medusa. I don't think she will turn you to stone. Not today, but she is a pretty scary character. Isn't she cool?
Yeah, she's after me. I know it.
So all of those snakes on top of her head could be animated. There was a snake bracelet that could be animated, and all of her fingers could move beautifully because in the movie she has a bow and arrow. So she is animated with pulling back her string and letting loose her arrows. I know. Isn't she incredible?
She is, but I just can't look at her.
I know.
Please.
I know.
I mean, some guys go for dames like that, but not me. I'm sorry.
I know. Isn't she cool?
Ugh.
She's the, that sequence with Medusa is actually one of Ray's most famous sequences because it's just so perfect. The lighting, there's flickering light. She drags herself into the scene and she slithers around. It's incredible.
Yes.
I love that part.
You're just giving me nightmares. Like, I just thought I got over it. now we're somewhere different here.
Yeah.
A little more cheerful, I think.
Yes, a little more
What
cheerful.
is this? What is
So this is pretty neat. A lot of people, they're very familiar with Ray Harryhausen's creatures from his movies that he did. He was involved in 16 feature films. But before those movies, he was practicing and honing his craft. And these fairy tales that we're looking at right now are some of his earliest work. It was right after World War II. He had all this extra film that was salvaged from the Navy. They were just going to get rid of it. So he scooped it up and he thought, what can I do with all this extra film? And he decided to make fairy tales. He thought that'd be really good family viewing. And so all these heads of this rabbit here from the hair, they've got different faces. Each one is a different expression. And so Ray used what's called replacement animation when he was making these pieces here. He would have the body of the puppet, but then he would replace the heads to show different emotions so that he didn't have to animate all those little tiny ups and downs and surprises and things like that. And it was a really effective way to animate them. And I can show you how that looks when we look at the fairy tales themselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. I'm sure there's a few people watching now wishing that they could replace my head sometime, right? What am I looking at here now?
You are looking at King Midas. And so King Midas would have had several different heads for all of his different expressions as well. One thing that I love about this is that Ray was making these when he was quite young, just right out of World War II, and his parents helped him out. His parents were big supporters ever since he was a kid of making his stop motion animation. And so the king's costume, his robes, those were all made by Ray's mom. She hand sewed all of the costumes for all of his fairy tale characters. And there is an armature inside of King Midas, and Ray's dad, Fred, made those armatures. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how Ray's dad, Fred, continued to make his armatures for him well into the early 1960s.
Wow.
So that's King Midas.
Wow.